In this video, we pay tribute to the celebrities who tragically passed away today. Join us as we remember their incredible contributions to the entertainment industry and the impact they had on our lives. From legendary actors to renowned musicians, this video is a heartfelt acknowledgement of their talent and legacy. Stay tuned as we honor these beloved stars and reflect on their extraordinary careers.
Red Blunt is not a politician, just a good business.
Bobby Allison. He was an American professional stock car racing driver and owner. Allison was the founder of the Alabama Gang, a group of drivers based in Hueytown, Alabama, where there were abundant short tracks with high purses. Allison raced competitively in the NASCAR Cup Series from 1961 to 1988, while regularly competing in short track events throughout his career. He also raced in IndyCar, Trans Am, and Can-Am. Named one of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers and a member of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, he was the 1983 Winston Cup champion and won the Daytona 500 in 1978, 1982, and 1988. Allison was born December 3, 1937, in Miami, Florida. He entered his first race as a senior at Archbishop Curley Notre Dame High School in Miami. Since he was only 17, he had to have his parents' permission to compete. When his mother approved, Allison assumed it was permanent, but his mother believed it was for only one race. After he graduated from high school in 1955, Allison's mother thought she would derail his racing interest by sending him to Wisconsin to work for Mercury Outboard Motors, where her brother-in-law, Jimmy Hallett, was the national sales manager. Unbeknownst to her, the owner of Mercury was Carl Kiekhaefer, who also owned race cars. Allison began working as a mechanic and an engine tester. While employed at Mercury, Allison worked in the boat division for 10 months, then was transferred to the racing division. During the 2 months he worked in the racing division for Kiekhaefer, he went to 19 races, mostly Grand National, and a few convertible races. Every one of those races was won by a Carl Kiekhaefer car from the shop in which he worked. Bobby Allison was elected to the International Motorsports Hall of Fame in 1993. Allison won the first Daytona 500 run with restrictor plates in February 1988 by a car length over his son Davey Allison, rendering him the first driver to have won the Daytona 500 both with and without restrictor plates. On November 9, 2024, Allison's family announced his passing prior to the NASCAR Xfinity Series championship race. Allison was 86 years old. A cause of death wasn't given, but Allison had been in declining health for years.
End of a performance when people go crazy.
Judith Jameson. She was an American dancer and choreographer. She was the artistic director of Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater from 1989 until 2011, and then its artistic director emerita. At the age of 17, Jameson graduated from Juilliard and began her collegiate studies at Fisk University. In 1992, Jameson was inducted into Delta Sigma Theta sorority as an honorary member. Jameson made her premiere with Alvin Ailey Dance Theater at Chicago's Harper Theater Dance Festival in 1965 in Congo Tango Palace, and in 1966, she toured Europe and Africa with the company. Jameson had always had a strong interest in African identity. Therefore, traveling to Africa with the company and having the opportunity to observe the culture firsthand was an exciting and valuable experience for her. In addition to performing, Jameson wanted the opportunity to explore working with her own group of dancers. She began teaching master classes at Jacob's Pillow in 1981, and soon began choreographing her own works. Jameson was married briefly to Miguel Gaudreau, a dancer with the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, from 1972 to 1974. Jameson passed away at Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York on November 9, 2024, following a brief illness. She was 81.
And Art Blakey was in California, in jail.
Lou Donaldson. He was an American jazz alto saxophonist. He was best known for his soulful, bluesy approach to playing the alto saxophone, although in his formative years he was heavily influenced by Charlie Parker, as were many during the bebop era. He was also known for being sampled many times in Potbelly, his cover of Ode to Billy Joe, and his cover of It's Your Thing. Donaldson's first jazz recordings were with bop musicians Milt Jackson and Thelonious Monk in 1952, and he participated in several small groups with other prominent jazz musicians such as trumpeter Blue Mitchell, pianist Horace Silver, and drummer Art Blakey. In 1953, he also recorded sessions with the trumpeter Clifford Brown and with Philly Joe Jones. He was a member of Art Blakey's quintet for the hard bop recording sessions at Birdland on February 21, 1954, which would yield the A Night at Birdland albums for Blue Note Records. He was inducted into the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame on October 11, 2012. Also in 2012, he was named a NEA Jazz Master by the National Endowment for the Arts. Donaldson was born in Baden, North Carolina on November 1, 1926. He attended North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in Greensboro in the early 1940s. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy during World War II and was trained at the Great Lakes bases in Chicago, where he was introduced to bop music in the lively club scene. In 2018, he declared himself retired, having performed his final shows in 2017. Donaldson passed away at the age of 98. He suffered pneumonia.
And I'm going to say, who fed the chickens? And I want you to point.
Ella Jenkins. She was an American singer-songwriter. Called the First Lady of the Children's Folk Song, she has been a leading performer of folk and children's music. Her album, Multicultural Children's Songs 1995, has long been the most popular Smithsonian Folkways release. She has appeared on numerous children's television programs, and in 2004, she received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. According to culture writer Mark Guarino, across her 67-year career, Jenkins firmly established the genre of children's music as a serious endeavor, not just for artists to pursue but also for the recording industry to embrace and promote. In Chicago, Jenkins began writing songs for children while volunteering in recreation centers. She subsequently was hired as a teenage program director for the YWCA in 1952. While working at the YWCA, she was invited to perform on the Chicago public television show, The Totem Club. She was soon offered a regular job as the host of its Thursday program, which she entitled This Is Rhythm. She invited guests from diverse cultures to share their music's rhythms on her show. She began her career as a children's musician touring school assemblies in the United States, often sleeping in a different place each night and encountering racial discrimination. As she performed in more varied venues, she began to write music about her experiences. Later that year, Jenkins met American folklorist, educator and record producer Kenneth S. Goldstein at the Gate of Horn Folk Music Club in Chicago. As a recording artist, Jenkins has gained extensive recognition. Her recordings have received Parents' Choice Awards and 2 Grammy Award nominations in the category of Best Musical Album for Children. In 2004, she was recognized with a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Johnson's final album, Camp Songs with Ella Jenkins and Friends, was released in 2017. She died on November 9, 2024. At the age of 100, Jenkins died in her sleep.
Cheetah. That's dirty.
Ron Ely. He was an American actor and novelist, best known for portraying Tarzan in the 1966 NBC series Tarzan, and playing the lead role in the film Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, 1975. He hosted the Miss America pageant telecast in 1980 and 1981. Ely won the role of Tarzan in 1966 after playing supporting roles in films such as South Pacific, 1958, as an airplane navigator, The Fiend Who Walked the West, 1958, and The Remarkable Mr. Pennypacker, 1959. Ely starred on the series The Aquanauts in 1960, in the Western adventure film The Night of the Grizzly, 1966, opposite Clint Walker, and later appeared in Jürgen Goslar's slavery movie Slavers, 1978. In the 1980s, he hosted the musical game show Face the Music, as well as the 1980 and 1981 Miss America pageants, replacing longtime host Burt Parks. He starred in a 1987 revival of the 1960s adventure series Sea Hunt as Mike Nelson, the role played by Lloyd Bridges in the original series. In the 1990s, Ely's roles included a retired alternate universe variant of Superman in the Superboy episode, The Road to Hell, and Hunter Gordon Shaw in the Tarzan episode, Tarzan the Hunted. He wrote 2 mystery novels featuring private investigator Jake Sands, Night Shadows, 1994, and East Beach, 1995. Ely retired from acting in 2001, returning with an appearance in the television film Expecting Amish, 2014. He married his high school sweetheart, Helen Janet Triplett, in 1959. He was born June 21, 1938. Ely died at the home of one of his daughters in Los Alamos, California, at age 86. His death was not announced.